welcome to Qinetic.com. I'm Q Coach Ariel, and I am doing a 20-minute live stream bar class, but it's exciting because I am wearing the Athos wear today. This is amazing technology, and it comes in a caprice pant for us women, and it has a cord that plugs in and gives real-time feedback to an app on your phone, exactly what's going on with your muscles and how much muscle output. It's amazing. So you'll see on the corner of the screen is what I'm seeing in terms of the real-time feedback from the app. And I'm going to start with a little bit of a warm-up that's just going to get the legs and feet moving, and then I'll go to the floor and we'll start the actual warm-up, and I'll talk about the Athos technology. So start hip width apart and just kind of roll down towards the floor so that you can get the hamstring stretch. And then bend the knees lightly and then stretch, butt to ceiling. Repeat that again, plie and stretch. And then roll up. Make sure to articulate the back. The head comes up last, please. Second time, so down towards the floor. Stretch those hamstrings out. Relax that neck and shoulders. Plie and stretch. And plie and stretch. And then rolling up again. All right, put the feet together and do the same thing. So this is just a really nice way to warm up the knees and the ankles and your hamstrings, especially the lower back as well. So plie and straighten one more time and roll up. Last time, try to breathe through it. Relax the body, get it moving. Plie and stretch, and engage the stomach muscles to roll up. All right, come back to hip width apart. Push through the ankles a little bit, prance back and forth. As you can see already in the corner of the screen, that you can get the feedback from the muscles almost immediately. They are in colors. So the yellow and oranges is just kind of a low output. Then it can go into blue, and blue is the lowest, and then yellow is medium, and then red. So as we get going, you'll see the changes in the colors, and that corresponds to my muscle output. So now add a little twist. Just get the body going. Make sure the feet keep going back and forth. Stay nice and parallel. Circle the arms back. Kind of think backstroke swimming. Get that torso moving. Just 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to the twists. Keep the feet moving. Again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last with the swim. Back. Open up those shoulders. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's start the real workout. So come on, sit down on a mat. We're gonna start sitting, and then we're gonna work our way up to standing at the bar. Don't worry if you don't have a bar, you really can just use anything that's at, a little lower than shoulder height, like a chair or a countertop, anything stable. All right, so I'm gonna start with my legs straight and sitting up as high as I can on the sit bones. So as you can see, it automatically that my thighs are engaged because my legs are straight. My hamstrings are also working, and it looks like one of my glute muscles are working more than the other. That's very interesting. To be kind of uneven is totally natural, but this technology can help you try to even those things out. So you can just pay a little bit more attention in squeezing both so that they can both kind of even out. So then you're gonna flex the feet, keep the quads engaged, please, and then turn out. So a lot of a bar class and a lot of ballet is in a turned out position. And that means you're using the quads and using the glutes in a different way. So it's different than traditional exercise a lot of the time because you're in this turned out position. So find those glute muscles. You can see that firing right on the screen. So then point the feet and then relax and turn back in. And my glute muscles should relax a little. Awesome. So then flexing again and squeezing those glutes to turn out, and then point those feet and relax. Nice. Again, flex, squeeze, 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 and point, and in. As you can see, I'm also using my quads a lot, one on the more than the other, and the inner thighs, which is really cool. As you point and come in. The inner thighs are used a ton in ballet to maintain that shape, that turnout. You're using your glutes deep rotator muscles, and the inner thighs to keep the legs together, the quads to keep them straight. And point, and in. All right, relax for a second. Moving on to pliés. So you're gonna be in a turned out position again. Doesn't mean those glutes are held. Check that out in the red or in the yellow. Then you're going to flex and plie the legs. So now they're bent. That relaxes the quads. As you can see, they come out of the equation on the screen. And then push the heels forward and point. There, the quads come back into action. And then flex, plie, pull up. No sagging, this is different. I want you to sit as high as you possibly can. That's where the alignment comes from. Use those abs. Push forward and point. Then flex and in. Here the hamstrings come into play too, right there. And point. One last time. Flex and in. Push, 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 push. And down. Nice, relax for a second. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same position, and rather than having the hands on the floor, which helps you sit up straight, you're going to use your own muscles to stand up, to sit up as tall as you can, and the arms come above your head in a fit. This is from ballet. Make sure it's not too far back so you don't arch, but that you're holding your stomach and pulling up out of the sit bones as much as you can. Go ahead and engage those glute muscles. They're in a nice turned out position. And then lifting using the inner thighs. I'm going to lift my right first. So there you can see that engages. And cross, there's the inner thighs. Back and down. Repeat other side. Lift and back and over and down. Switch legs and up and over and in and down. I'm lifting up. My glutes should still be engaged because I'm still turned out. Don't let it turn in. So you're ready. So if you lift and then let it relax and then re-engage, that's where like the inconsistencies come. The small movements are what's really important in bar classes, right? So that there's not like these huge movements. It's not a big swing. I'm moving maybe a couple of inches and I'm getting such a specific muscle use and muscle output. Lifting and crossing and in. Last one, just lifting up. Are those glutes still engaged? I hope so. And down. Nice. Relax for a second. Come on over onto your knees. We're gonna get a little higher. Now we're gonna use the glutes and the hamstrings in what's called an arabesque. So you can see what I love about this technology is when I go and lift one leg, my other leg is going to show how much I'm holding it and how much that's necessary for stability. So just because my working leg is doing all this crazy stuff, the standing leg, or the one that you're not moving, is almost as important, if not more. So let's take that right leg and extend straight back. There's the hamstring. And turned out, straight leg, there's the quad. And lift up. So now this is a 90 degrees right off the floor, the same thing from right straight out from my hip. And you're gonna pulse upward. Pulse and pulse and pulse. Look at the firing of that right leg. That glute is crazy, hamstring, and my quad. But if you can notice on my left glute, it is also engaged. It is held so that I'm not moving all over the place. So if I can let it go, then I'm not getting the benefits, right? So it's a small movement and you're really lifting like 2 inches, maybe max. Lift and lift and lift. 8 more, keep breathing. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, nicely done. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Switch other side. So straighten that leg, turn it out. There comes in the glute. Lift and pulse upwards. 1 and 2 and lifting. Which is also interesting is that you're seeing my inner thighs fire. So my inner thighs is keeping that leg directly back. So if it wanders out here somewhere, the inner thighs go away, right? They're not being used in the same way. So those small movements of stability going right up and down in a straight line uses the inner thighs too. See, this technology, I wish I had this when I was a ballerina or back when I was training. Oh my gosh, it would have been so helpful. So lifting up, almost there, and up, and up, and up. 4 more, keep breathing. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and relax. Lovely. Okay, so we're gonna switch back to that first leg. This time we're gonna be turned out position in an attitude. So that means the leg is slightly bent. So before we were straight, now we're gonna bend. That uses the hamstring more. So lift, when you bend, this comes into play, which you'll see right on that screen. Yay, it's beautiful. And then lifting, up and up. Same small movement, right? It's really, really tiny. You're doing just a couple of inches of a lift. It's not this big thing. This is completely different. The stomach is held. The standing knee, the one that you're just have your weight on, is moving and is barely moving and is so held and so tight. That glute is really important. Almost there. And 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Nice, relax. All right, switch. If you need to, you can stop and shake out the wrists. Sometimes that gets a lot on the wrists. Don't worry about it, just come right back in when you can. So, other side, straighten that leg, turn it out, bend it and lift it. Beautiful attitude position. Make sure this stays all still as you lift. Pulse, and pulse, and pulse. How cool, see the butt that I'm standing on, so this one, my right, it's now in the white. And like that is how much I'm holding, which is fantastic. So lift, and lift, and lift. Almost there, keep breathing, and a pulse, and pulse, and pulse, and pulse. Last 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, and 3. Don't move the pelvis. 2, and 1. Nice. All right, done. Let's stand up. So I'm gonna go grab my bar. This case, it's a chair. Whatever works for you. If you have a countertop, that will be great too. So putting that down. Now we're going to get to do a lot in kind of what the ballet world is what I think of. And you're really in this turned out position, the first position. So that same exercise that we did at the beginning where you found your turnout muscles, those glutes, right? That's where you need to use to be in the first position. So the toes are pointed outwards, but it doesn't matter how far out. It matters, am I holding my glutes and can I maintain it with my musculature? Not can I force my turnout, because it's bad for your knees. So really hold those glutes, because you see I'm like holding like crazy just to stand in first position. So put one hand on your bar, and you're gonna take a deep plie. So that means you're gonna allow the knees to bend, so you're relaxing the hamstrings, and then you're gonna stretch them again. And they come back into play as you straighten. My butt stays held the whole time in plies. As I go down and up, it doesn't change. That's where the strength lies. So I don't release it as I go into a plie and then try to catch it back up again. It's really like holding that butt as I go down and then taking the quads and engage them again as I straighten. One more time, just plie, 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 and straighten, squeeze. Amazing. Now, adding pulses. So you're gonna allow the heels to come up a little bit. I'm not all the way down here. I'm using my quads and my hamstrings in order to maintain a nice diamond shape. So you can see them firing. And then squeezing the butt, I dip down and down and down and down. Okay, so what's really important here is that the shoulders are over the hips. I'm not leaning forward and I'm not arching back. As soon as I arch back, I lose the glute muscles. That's where this like tucking under feeling and engaging the stomach muscles up comes from, right? So while I'm pulsing, as you can see from the side, it's a straight line, not an arch and not tucked forward, right? Really straight, squeeze that glute to maintain your own turnout, how much that is. A couple more, 3, 2, 1, very nice. All right, let's do some releves. So this is gonna be about standing on one leg and finding the stability there. So you're gonna stay in that first position turned out. You're gonna come out to the side in the flexed position. So this foot is a couple of inches off. As you can see, my standing leg is firing like crazy so that I'm really stable. I can take my hand off the bar, shoulders over the hips, over the ankles. And then I'm gonna come up to releve. That includes quads and down, and then turning in the butt muscles, and then re-engaging the turnout muscles. Look how cool that is. So I go up and down, and then as I release, they go off, and then those colors come back. Nice. And up, and down, and release, and contract. And up, and down, and release. Just 2 more. Really nice. Keep that leg straight for me, right? Both of them. It's not bent, it's not relaxed. That's completely different. So reaching up and down and relax, then squeeze. All right, nice. Let's switch to the other side. It's so cool to be able to see the small movements. As when I release for you, you can see that all of that muscles that all those muscles I was working before, they relax for a second, and then I re-engage the turnout muscles, re-engage the quads, and all of that fires again. So set up for the other side. Squeeze that standing leg. You can see that butt muscle working like crazy, right? My quad, my hamstring on the standing leg, just by standing like this. This is what stability is. So then releve up. Use the quad to lift up and down. That's a calf raise. And then turn in and turn out. So up and down. It relaxes for a moment. Re-engage. And up and down. Relax that quad or that glute and re-engage. And then up and down and in and out. Just a couple more. So this is where all of that balance comes from. I could do this without the bar, right? That's where squeezing the muscles come in really handy. And up, and this technology gives you feedback immediately. Am I holding those muscles that I'm saying I'm holding? You know, am I doing that fine tuning, which is so important for bar classes and ballet? All right, switching. So we're gonna do front attitude. You know that position we just did with the bent leg behind you? Here it comes into play right in front. So bring that forward, and you're in that bent move, and it is turned out. So as you can see in this position, hamstring is working, right? So that is holding my leg up. My quad is working, however, not as much as my hamstrings are. And that standing leg, of course, this is the left, is working like crazy in order to stabilize me in that position. So come up onto releve and then forced arch. This is where you're gonna stay and pulse up, up and up and up. So that glute is working in order to maintain the turnout. If I turn in, ooh, different exercise, different use of your muscles. Turn out, squeeze that butt and lift and lift and lift. And that hamstring is working to keep me in this position. Also, my inner thighs are keeping that foot in front of my nose. If I allow it to swing out here, that's not the inner thighs anymore. This is the inner thighs, right? Couple more, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, switch. All right, so now we're gonna do back attitude. Same leg, it gets the double whammy. So go ahead and face towards the bar, squeeze those glutes, make sure you're maintaining that awesome proper alignment as you go up into back attitude. Same position we did on the floor on the knees. And then you're gonna lift. Come up onto releve and into forced arch. Stay there and lift and lift. Look at that glute working. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So you can really see that not only is my right glute working and the hamstring in order to keep it in a bent position, but also the opposite leg is working like crazy. And my inner thighs are helping to keep it directly behind my head and not all the way out here. That's a different exercise. Right behind your head. Make sure you're keeping shoulders up as much as you can to use the back muscles. A couple more, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and relax. Awesome, we're gonna do the exact same thing. Other side. Start with that front attitude. Set up, squeeze the muscles. So a lot of the time I'm on releve and over. Make sure that you're really over and not on the weight on your heels, right? That changes the way your muscles work too, those small adjustments. If I'm over the ball of my foot, my quad can work more efficiently. All right, so lift that up into attitude, come up onto releve and forced arch. Stay right there. And pulse, and pulse, and pulse, and pulse. What's so beautiful is that my standing leg is obviously working as well as the working leg. You get the benefits of both at each side. Double the workout. And lift, and lift, and lift. Keep breathing. Relax the shoulders. The arm is out to the side, but it's not tense. It's relaxed. Lift, and lift, and lift, and lift. What I'd love you to be able to see is that my abs are working like crazy in order to stay like that, right? I don't have any Athos wear on my abs. However, if I did, they would be firing like crazy. Switch. So, face the bar, back attitude. In the first position, those glutes are engaged. There, whoop, yellow comes right up. And then I lift that leg straight behind my head and bend that knee. Hamstring involved, but glute muscle involved. Lifting up, Stay forward. How I talked about that works the muscles more efficiently if you're over the ball of the foot. Stay right there and lift, 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 lift. Try to isolate. Again, it's a very small movement. Barre classes are about teeny tiny adjustments and teeny tiny pulses, right? That's where the strength lies. Not a big swinging thing, but really a pulse and pulse and pulse and pulse. Almost there. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Nicely done. I'd like to do a little bit of stretching, but I'm pretty much done with that workout. It's just going to be a nice cool down. It's very important to do a cool down stretching after every one so that you can come back and recover faster. So first stretch, pull up on that standing leg. As you can see, the quad is engaged even though I'm stretching the left. Come on over and relax that hamstring. What I love about this, this workout and the Athos wear is that I can get instant feedback and, oh my gosh, I'm slightly to the right, I'm using my left too much, like maybe I'm not using those glutes as she was talking about earlier. Like you can do the tiny adjustments that I could do with you if I was working one-on-one. And switch. Other side. But can't always be there with you, right? So this technology is like a personal trainer in the room with you saying, actually, you're not using that glute as much as I would love. Can you push it a little harder? Can you hold that turnout a little bit more? And stretching. Try to relax into each one of these stretches. All right. Switching to the glutes. Come on and make that front attitude position for me that we did before, and bend forward. This is a glute stretch. Try to relax. What's beautiful about this technology also, and the app, is that at the end of this workout, which we're coming to right now, I get instant feedback on, okay, well, look, you were a little uneven, and, you used, here you go, boom, ask and you shall receive. So this is my little breakdown of my workout today. So my glutes, oh wow, look at that. I used my inner quad like crazy. The glutes were of course number one, yes, barre class. And then the hamstrings were working as well a lot of the time. That's amazing. The inner thighs are something that I talk about a lot because you're trying to keep in the midline, right? You're trying to be very symmetrical between the two sides, and that's where the inner thigh is really, really important. I use the outer quad as well, but not as much as your inner thigh. So let's see, 88% workout efficiency. Ooh, nice. And only 2% were at rest, and that was when I was talking to you, so I think that's pretty good. If you were in the barre class, you'd keep going and would probably not stop to talk to the instructor. All right, so my score was 329. It's the first time I've ever used this technology. So I'm thinking that's a pretty nice way to start my baseline and then just go up from there. The building score of 37, ooh, that's awesome. So there's this beautiful thing about this app is then, next time you can look and go, I hit 40% this time, I hit 55, push yourself, keep improving. It's a wonderful feedback for you to know that, I hit that goal, now I can make a new goal. We all need a little bit of instant pat yourself on the shoulder, and that is what this technology does, as well as a learning tool in order to really specify and make your workout the best for your body. So awesome. 17% more on the right side. Okay, I need to note that, and remember next time, think about my left. Engage it a little bit more. Try to even out that body. Having slight inequalities is totally natural. It's just up to you to try to even that out and really make a body that is so efficient and the best machine that you can make. All right, I hope you enjoyed my class. You can leave comments if you'd like. Reach out to me at Qinetic.com or on my website, arielshepley.com. If you're interested in getting the Athos wear, which I highly recommend, you can find it online at liveathos.com or reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Take care. Bye.